Hello, everybody. Welcome to the TechRaptor podcast. I'm Robert Scarpanito, your features editor.
And Rotten editor-in-chief.
Rutledge Doggett, site founder.
And Stretch is gone. It's
there
over.
There could only be one Andrew. We fired him.
Yeah, we broke up with him. This is how he's finding out.
Yeah, you're fired, Stretch. When you hear this, it's going to be Monday, 7 a.m. Pack your shit and get out.
No, we're just kidding. He's on vacation this week, a much-deserved vacation.
I'm not kidding.
And well, I can't make the calls here, so.
Well, I'll overrule Otten. Stretch is fired
bullshit.
for the next hour.
Okay, all right. This week, we're going to talk about a lot of demos that have been coming out, like that Kirby, the Forgotten Lands demo, and also the incredible, amazing, beautiful Strangers in Paradise Final Fantasy Origin demo. It's so good. It's so...
Just a perfect glint
great.
of Nomura's vision.
It's just perfect, really. You could have just stopped there. It's perfect.
It's true.
Truly.
We're going to talk about the perfect Kojima game. Now we're talking about the perfect Nomura game later.
Exactly. But first, let's get into some news. Let's talk about the unbearable weight of Hideo Kojima's genius, because it's now government approved, government sanctioned. It's the Japanese government has recognized the genius of Hideo Kojima. That's a sentence we can say.
About time.
The government's Agency of Cultural Affairs has awarded Kojima-san the Award for Fine Arts. Which, again, this is like, I can't stress enough. This is like from the government.
Well, that, and I don't know, I know the last person, I didn't look into further back, but I think like the only other gaming person that's got it is Miyamoto.
Yeah, the
and
Mario
like
guy.
that's like the height of any gaming royalty is Miyamoto. And now Kojima has it also.
Right. As he should. Well deserved.
Absolutely. I'm not dissing it at all.
Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of like a lifetime achievement award, essentially. So, and I mean, like, I know we're kind of being tongue-in-cheek here, but it's not like Kojima doesn't deserve this. You know what I mean? Like, Metal Gear, for what it's worth, everyone knows it. Everyone has an opinion on it, but it's like, it's proliferated enough where people just, they know Solid Snake. They know that iconic David Hayter voice. They know all about the Cyborg Ninjas and all that, right? And according to our story here, that it's Death Stranding also played a pretty big role in whether or not Kojima would get this award, which makes sense. It is one of our 10 out of 10 games as well.
Yeah, I mean, Kojima, you say Kojima, almost everyone in the industry knows who you're talking about. Like, it's one of those names that is just synonymous with game development at this point.
Yeah.
So it's unsurprising, especially to be getting an award alongside someone like Miyamoto. That's huge.
Yeah,
it's absolutely huge.
Yeah, his influence is it's wild. In a lot of ways that I'm sure people don't even see or realize. Like those Metal Gear games have just done weird stuff that have made their way into other games. Like someone's taken an idea, or I think he's given a lot of people some. Maybe not courage or encouragement, but like they felt that they could get weird with shit and people will like respond to it. Like it's definitely very validating to see it work out for somebody, because he does some off the wall stuff routinely. And I think he has made it look like it's a viable pathway for some people, which is always really cool, because then we get neat, interesting things.
Yeah, like there are some things that I think can only happen in a Metal Gear game, you know, like
Sure.
Kojima's just one of those guys who puts in Easter eggs that just are just so dumb. Like I'm pretty sure from at least Metal Gear 1 through 4, there's always a guy named Johnny who does play a big role in Metal Gear 4, but he always needs to take a real massive dump. And in every game you can find him taking the dump.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure in 2 there's like multiple times. There's one where you have to like you have to watch someone walk across like a bridge really slowly, and there's like a sniper trying to fire on him or something, right? Like it's a very tense situation, but you can also pull out your directional mic and go the other direction, and you just hear Johnny like struggling on the toilet to take a dump. And it's like the man who made this just won a lifetime achievement award in Japan.
That is art, sir.
That's true.
Art. Games are finally art.
Not gonna get into that
This is
discussion.
why he deserves it. It's at moments like that. It's the fact that he can have something like that in a game and then just takes something crazy ridiculous and make it super serious.
Mm-hmm.
Does it always work? No. But that's also part of it. You're like, this is fucking stupid. Like,
it's part of the charm.
To point and laugh at how ridiculous it is sometimes part of the fun.
Mm-hmm.
But he's always doing new stuff.
Yeah, like Death Stranding has a character named Die Hard Man because it's hard for him to die. That's really it.
To be fair, if that was something that I had trouble with, I would change my name too.
I mean,
if I couldn't Die Hard Man.
Die Hard Man, yeah.
Die Hard Man's like the coolest name. Are you kidding me?
Really?
Like, yeah, for like it's like the ultimate like video gamey name. It's like why go something dumb like. It's going full. It's recognizing what he's making and saying, "Yeah, I'm just doing that."
You become synonymous with Bruce Willis.
It's just
who's still famous to this day, making great movies.
Still the best Christmas movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
yeah. I mean, there's just so much in Death Stranding where it's like when you describe some parts of Death Stranding, it's like, how did that win a lifetime achievement, or how did that help a man win a lifetime achievement award? But I mean, like, to be fair, there is like when you look at the bigger picture of what Death Stranding can do, like, I get it. There is still, to Kojima's credit, not another Strand type game out there.
That's right.
Right? It's still, there's only one game that feels like Death Stranding.
Yeah. Don't forget that, like, his mom's name or whatever is Strand. I love that also has to be in it. Her last name is Strand.
Is it actually?
Yeah. So it's like there's so much that's so unsubtle about it, and it's like, I need to get that Strand name in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, that's what that's mean. Why do we need that? I don't know.
I mean, isn't there a scene where the lady's like, where fucking Sam Porter Bridges, who drinks porters and builds bridges. So that's where his names come from.
Well, his name is Sam Monster Energy Drink Bridges.
Well, not in the definitive edition.
That's right, not anymore.
Yeah, they lost the Monster sponsorship. But no, isn't there a scene where he like talks to the lady and is like, "So what? Am I Mario and you're Princess Peach?" And they're on a beach, and she's like, "No, I'm Princess Beach." And that's real dialogue.
I do not remember this.
No, I'm pretty sure that's real.
I feel like you're fucking with me. I part of me is, what's awful though is I could believe it. Like, yes, yeah. I can't tell if it's fake or real. I want to say that's not real. I don't remember that.
You know what? Hey, let us know in the comments below. Am I bullshitting or not?
I'm going to search for it because
yes, please call him out if it's wrong.
I did play all Death Stranding. I did.
Mm-hmm.
I beat it. I watched the last 4-hour cutscene. And it was wild.
I think Metal Gear Solid 4's ending cutscene was like 2 hours or something too. Like,
yeah, it's just like, hey, you might as well just watch the movie now.
Yeah,
because it's just insane, and like Kojima's influence is crazy. Like if you look at something just as tiny as PT, think of all the big horror games that have come out since that came out. You can directly tie it to PT. There's so much that happened in that this is exactly. Look at how the revitalization of Resident Evil. That comes from PT.
Well, yeah, because like that Resident Evil 7 demo is basically just like, oh, I want to make that.
Yep. So it's crazy how influential just something as tiny that is.
Yeah.
And I was talking about before we started recording, I might have mentioned it before, but like the only time I've ever seen this at a show is at one E3. Kojima was on the floor just walking around checking shit out, and there was a wave of like hundreds of people following him. Mm-hmm. Like it would cut you off from getting somewhere. Like I had somewhere to be, and I'd be like, "Okay, where's Kojima?" So I can avoid him. Like
the Kojima entourage.
I need to get around where they are. Mm-hmm. And that's the only time I've ever seen that. I've seen other big names kind of walking around, not as big as Kojima, but they don't have a big wave. I did see Miyamoto walking around once. They didn't even have that many people walking behind him. But maybe that's because he had a bunch of big burly security guys.
Well, do you think part of it too is that, when you play a Mario game, it's not like you see Miyamoto's name like 5 times in the first 5 minutes. Right? With Kojima, when you boot up a Kojima game, it's like produced by Hideo Kojima, directed by, written by.
He's definitely the auteur stuff where it's like you can't separate him from his games. He is in it. Mm-hmm. It is him. Or Miyamoto is like, I guess there is that degree of separation where it's like, yeah, I make it, or I'm the creator of it. but I'm not I'm not Mr. Mario.
Super Mario Brothers, presented by.
Yeah. We're not seeing Miyamoto's name plastered everywhere.
Yeah. His name's bigger than the Mario logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why people are buying it, right?
Yeah,
at this point, for Kojima, it's like, who cares what the name of the game is? Need me some Kojima.
I mean, I bet you if the next game is like a cookie clicker knockoff, but it's like Hideo Kojima presents.
Are you kidding me? I'm way into that.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fucking weird.
Well, I mean, there's already some fucking Kojima-esque cookie clicker like games out there.
Oh yeah,
just go off the rails.
Hey, real talk, Universal Paperclips.
That's what I was gonna bring up.
Great clicker
it's
game.
Fantastic. It's I've played that at work. It's the perfect browser game at work if you're just killing time. It sounds so boring at first, but it goes off the fucking rails.
Yeah, like at first you're just making paperclips, and then you cure cancer.
Yes,
and that's not even the weird shit.
Yeah, you basically solve all of the world's problems, and then there's other problems that crop up. That's great.
Yeah,
very
it's a
Kojima-y.
Exactly. Yeah. In other news, Sony did a little state of play, a little 20-minute one last week. Very exciting stuff. We got all the stuff that made everyone happy, like Exoprimal.
All the stuff people were hoping to show up there, like Hogwarts Legacy that people keep talking about.
Mm-hmm. That God of War game.
Ragnarok,
Yeah, that obscure God of War game no one really talks about.
Comes out next month.
Yep. But no, it was a lot more of like the smaller, like, I wouldn't even say smaller things. Like we definitely have big studios there, like Capcom showed off some stuff, Square Enix showed off.
It was like
a lot of stuff.
That AA level games, a lot of those, like that mid-budget kind of tier.
Yeah, like they opened it up with I'm sorry, does that say Dino Crisis? Oh no, it says Exoprimal. I'm sorry.
Exoprimal. Yeah.
It's a very video game name. Like I love it and hate it at the same time.
It's like Biomutant or like Evolved,
I don't know.
You know, like
I mean it's like fucking Batman saying I am vengeance at this point. That's what it's like. That's what Exoprimal is.
Yeah, kind
as a name.
It looks like Anthem meets Dinosaur.
Here for it.
I mean, stylistically, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like even the exosuits. Yeah. Like the exosuits look very like Anthem-esque. Which
it wasn't like one of the most popular Left 4 Dead mods, the one that made the zombies into raptors.
Maybe.
I feel like it was. Mm-hmm. So maybe they're just ripping off Left 4 Dead even more.
Oh yeah, that was absolutely a mod.
Yeah, I think it was like a pretty popular one.
I had it installed and then uninstalled Left 4 Dead, reinstalled it like 2 years later and forgot I had the mod. And was very surprised when I started playing. So,
yeah, this update's taking it for a turn.
Yeah.
We got a lot of trailers for like games that we know are coming. You know, Ghostwire Tokyo. We got Forspoken, which did get delayed, so that's now in October. But
Forspoken looks sick, though.
Yeah, it looks rad, dude.
It looks kind of weird.
Sick. Yeah, weirdly sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like, it's got a crazy team behind it. Amy Hennig's involved.
Yeah. Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin, which we will talk much more about later.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't wait to talk about that.
Valkyrie Elysium looked interesting.
Did it?
Interesting. Yeah. Are you getting that mixed up?
I didn't say good. I said interesting.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, this is the Elex guy, so I guess he'd find anything interesting. Yeah. I thought it looked like an early PS3 game with higher res textures.
No, sorry, we're talking about Valkyrie Elysium, not Final Fantasy Origin.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy how much that does fit that description. Also,
it kind of does. Yeah, yeah.
But Valkyrie Elysium, it's another Square Enix title, right? It was the end of the show. This was their. I mean, they didn't even say one more thing. It was just like, this is the final.
It was a very strange. It looks just so empty.
Yeah, the world is pretty empty. And combat reminds me a lot of some of the newer Final Fantasy games too. With just like the focus targeting and stuff.
Like the real-time action.
Yeah, the real-time action.
Tales vibes at first.
Yeah, a little bit.
When I was looking at it.
Yeah, I could see that. Which, I mean, like, if it plays well, I'm kind of down for it. Because, I mean, I
Sure,
love
yeah.
Tales of Arise, right? But I'd want to see more before before committing.
Yeah, it was. We were having chats about Square Enix in our Slack, and it. I don't know. It gave me very Babylon's Fall vibes that first time they showed it, which, as we know now, not so good of a game.
Not so great.
Elex X-esque, if you will. Old Babylon's
Low blows. I think Elex scored higher than Babylon's Fall.
I don't think anybody talks about Elex as much as we do.
No,
we probably are like.
Most people don't even know what we're talking about, I'm sure.
It's because it's like an 8-year-old running joke at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
because Don and I like Elex and you hate it.
Yeah, we've cornered the Elex market, and it's only like 4 people outside of the show, but we got them.
Yep. I get my monthly Piranha Bytes check.
Yeah, for the 67 cents and
69 cents. Thank you.
Nice.
That Diofield Chronicles thing looked kind of neat.
Yeah, it was me, Dio Field Chronicles.
Is it Diofield or Diofield?
I'm just reading it that way because there was also a JoJo thing in there, so you know.
Dio, yeah, that's right. I was gonna mention JoJo. Like that is.
That looks
perfect.
I'm pretty into it. I mean, I know it's like a remake of the older fighting game, but like they're including, you know, some of the newer seasons like Stone Ocean, which that's the extent of my JoJo knowledge. I'm in the middle of watching it, but
I mostly know memes.
That's kind of all you need to know, I think.
And I've seen clips. I know Muda. I know that.
Or Ora. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, JoJo. But no, Diofield Chronicles does look pretty cool. It kind of, I mean, it looks like another tactics game, which, you know.
It does. It's definitely, it's got a great style to it. I love the look of it a lot. Like it's got that, with the HD 2D kind of look to it, but it's more of like a miniature kind of style, like the tilt shift kind of view. What was that game made by that? There's that, is it the Apple Arcade game or the iOS game? That was made by an old Final Fantasy guy. It looks fantastic. I can't remember the name of it.
Fantasia?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
It has a look kind of like that tilt shifty kind of, you know, looks like you're looking at a miniature world kind of look. But it looks really neat. I'm down for it.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely into it.
I just hope it's, I don't know, the writing is something I'll enjoy more because. Like I've been sitting on Triangle Strategy thinking about it, but I've heard like it's kind of got a lot of the same problems as Octopath when it comes to the writing of it. It's like
let's see. There was also
Gundam Evolution.
Yeah, Gundam Evolution. I don't know. I mean, that looks
Overwatch
fine,
with Gundams.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Like, this is just Overwatch.
And free to play too.
You know, I guess since they're not making any Overwatch content anymore. This is it for you guys. Gundam.
Yeah, I don't know. That didn't really interest me. And there was the other multiplayer game like Giga Bash, where I kind of tuned those out personally. I was like,
remember that
whatever.
one? Oh, that was
the
I know, the one that nobody will remember ever.
Yeah, it looks like another
again.
Kind of monster dinosaur thing, but it's whatever.
That Trek to Yomi. Dude, the style of that. I am way into that. Yeah,
it looks like a Kurosawa film, basically, like a side-scrolling Kurosawa film, right?
Well, it's kind of amazing how, I don't know, how well they've nailed the style of it.
I don't know. I'm kind of I'm on the fence with Trek to Yomi, I think, because like it looks cool, but I also feel like we saw this same trailer the first time they revealed it, like a year or two ago.
Sure.
You know, like I'm not really seeing much of an evolution beyond, you know, what was first shown off. So I kind of feel like, okay, I'm not any more excited than I was the first time I saw this.
I think if you look at this, I haven't done it, but I would almost bet if you looked at this trailer versus one of those early ones, you're going to see quite the graphical overhaul. Especially in the lighting. I think the lighting is crazy better in this. Maybe I'm just remembering it differently, but that was a marked difference in my head when I saw it. A lot more cinematic looking this time around.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think that could be cool, and it's supposed to come out in the spring, so allegedly soonish.
Looks neat. I'm down for it. Totally.
I think the only other thing we didn't talk about was that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
Probably might be like one of the biggest announcements out of it.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's like essentially 5 generations of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games.
13 games.
Yeah, from like arcade, NES, Nintendo, Super Nintendo.
Yeah, there's a ton of them. And those, the SNES ones in particular, are very well loved and fun games.
Turtles in Time.
Yeah. Is that in the list?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's so many good stuff in there. So much good stuff.
Okay. Yeah. So that'll be kind of cool to pick up. I feel like we're getting a lot of these like retro collections again because didn't Capcom announce like that fighting game one last week or something, right?
Oh, what's cool about that is there's 2 or 3 of them that never came west. So this will be the first time they come west.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hell, even Konami did the Castlevania collections and stuff.
Right. I mean, that was a smaller one though, right? Wasn't it just like Rondo, Blood, and Symphony?
I don't know. I thought there was one that did more. Did quite a few. I could be wrong. I'm not a big Castlevania guy, but I mean that, and we had Capcom's done Mega Man stuff and
like Mega Man Legends 3.
Please.
No,
for
they
the
need
love
to
of
do
God, please.
a Mega Man Battle Network. Come on, I need to jack in. Let me jack in.
I take another one of those for sure. Yeah, I will say, I mean, I felt like Capcom has been on a pretty good run, probably since like Resident Evil 7, right?
Absolutely.
And I think Exoprimal might break that streak. I mean, I hope for the best.
I didn't realize that was Capcom, is it?
I need more games with dinosaurs in them as the owner of a dinosaur theme site.
I don't know. I mean, like if it's a Left 4 Dead-y thing, like
if it does better than Back 4 Blood, I'm here for it.
Who's making it?
It's from Capcom. I think that's why everyone was like, "Oh, Capcom. is this
I mean,
Dino
they're
Crisis?
Publishing it, but are they the dev? Is it a Capcom in-house team?
I thought so.
Uh-oh.
I haven't seen anything about it being anything other than Capcom.
It's on the RE engine and everything.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, you know what? That makes me more interested because, like you were saying, like they've kind of been on a roll. Between Resident Evil and
Devil May Cry. Yeah. Oh, that makes you tired and sleepy, I see. Nah, feeling sick and stylish action, huh?
And Monster Hunter, I mean, they've been kind of knocking everything out of the park lately.
Yeah, I mean, there hasn't been a bad game on the RE engine yet. I'm still feeling that, right? But with this, I just think when you look at other, multiplayer type games, this has a lot of things where I'm like, that market just has not taken off as much, right? Like it has Anthem vibes, which not great.
Not good.
Back 4 Blood a little bit, right? But the biggest thing to me is that this game is also a 5v5 game, right? It's 5v5 where there are dinosaurs everywhere. Yeah, and it's like only one team gets out alive. So that sounds a lot like Battleborn to me.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
I guess
it's a lot going for it, or against it, maybe.
Well, I think when you get games like this where it looks kind of formulaic, in a way, like we've seen it, and it's kind of generic looking, and that to me is always kind of a big death knell for a game like this. So something like Lawbreakers, like it was fun to play. Yeah. Like gameplay wise, it had interesting mechanics and stuff going on. But it was one of the most uninteresting looking games I've ever seen. Like nothing visually going on for it. No.
Well, didn't it also like not have tutorial because it was all like, oh, you just you got to be good. Like it's an arena shooter.
No, it had tutorials, but you had to watch YouTube videos.
Yeah,
the best way to learn.
Yeah.
And then like compared to back to Overwatch comes out, it's Pixar looking thing, like stylistically, and every character's got a personality. Fucking who's gonna win that one? Of course.
Yeah, and that's what I'm feeling here too. Is Frey. It's like these all just look like exosuits that are, like we've seen these before.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, with how Capcom's been doing lately, I'm definitely willing to give them a benefit of the doubt a little bit.
I mean, I'm still gonna keep an eye on it, but
oh yeah.
It's hard to bet on it.
But it's also called Exoprimal, so
yeah.
How much could we That's
You know, it's
such
like
a stupid name.
a little, yeah.
Oh, so dumb. It's like, I don't know. It's one of those that like, because there's, still sometimes there's a little stigma with games and someone that doesn't play them, and they're like, oh, they're childish or whatever. Someone's like, oh yeah, what games do you play? Oh,
Exoprimal.
Oh, yeah. That's such a fucking dumb name. What?
Could
now?
you imagine Exoprimal Esports?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
I do own RaptorEsports.com.
It's a match made in paradise, man.
Here we go. We got to host it.
There you go.
Done.
Primal Esports happening here. Right here first.
Speaking of dumb things, let's talk about Strangers in Paradise.
Oh, yeah. So
Yes,
that
please,
demo
let's-
is out. How long is that demo available? I guess I need to look at that. 'Cause it's a limited time, right?
It's limited time. I imagine it's like up until maybe when the game releases, because it's one of those things
Probably.
where you can save your progress and then carry it over to the main
Yeah.
game.
So if
If
you
you
want
buy
to play it now, you could play it now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But
The demo goes till April 19th. So you got a long time.
Oh, yeah.
A while to check it out.
Now the question is, do you want to play it now?
Yes, you should. Everybody should.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know where to start with this game.
I have notes, so whenever you want me to jump in, just
Go ahead. I was playing it, and then in our little Slack thing, I was putting my live reaction to some stuff when I first started playing last night. And I was like, oh my god. So let me put this. Or what did I write? Let me see what I said. It's like they were dared to make a game out of all the things JRPG haters don't like, and then made a game out of it. Like,
I mean, the most straightforward way I can describe this game is this is Neo. This is Neo. That's really it. Feels very Neo-esque in that there's just a fuck ton of ways to fight, like so many different weapons, so many classes, right? Like instead of a stance thing, it's a class thing. But it's the same setup where like you have that world map, you go to a mission, it's kind of a big area, but it's not like open world necessarily.
yep.
And you go through, kill a bunch of stuff. There's a boss probably at the end, and you do that, mission complete. You watch a few cutscenes, load up the next. Or you can go back and do like alternate versions of missions or side missions, things like that.
I'd say structure-wise, it's the same, but the game, like the actual combat, is not. Like people kept saying, like it's Souls-like-y. I didn't find it Souls-like-y at all.
No, it's not
In
Souls-like
any way.
either. It's more Neo-like to me.
I wouldn't even go. It just fits in that vein of what Final Fantasy 15 started, and it's what 7 Remake. It felt exactly the same, more or less, to me.
Yeah.
Not that much different. Like, there's a lot more going on. That's the one thing I will say about it. The mechanically, it's very interesting. You're changing the jobs and stuff, and the abilities that you can do, and going through that. That seems very fun and interesting. Everything else, though.
Well, so even mechanically, I do have one major gripe with it.
What's that?
And it's the parry system, because it's on a
So
meter.
there's 2 different ones.
Well,
I mean, one's a parry, one's not. But
Well,
there's 2 different ways to
soul-
guard.
The soul blast or whatever it's called, like the
Yeah,
circle
whatever. Soul
one.
bullshit, yeah.
Right, everything's souls in this game, but not Dark Souls.
Everything's souls and chaos.
Right, so you have basically a posture meter, right? You have a posture meter like in Sekiro, where if you hold L1 to guard, you lose some posture. But if you do your parry, like the circle parry, right? Like, you still lose posture, but you can do big damage. But there's no way that I can see where you can not lose posture. So eventually you're gonna break.
That's true. How do you gain it back?
Yeah. Well, because to get it back, you have to either dodge through everything or just hang back a little. And it kind of feels like there's no way to reward yourself for perfect timing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think in my time with the demo, it feels like
part of the reward is that if you do get the perfect timing, you get to quote unquote steal that ability, right?
Right. Well, what I've noticed is because you can hold down circle to have like an infinite parry window, but then the longer you hold it, the more your poison meter just disappears, right?
Yep.
So I think I'd have to test it more, but it feels like if you have a really tight parry window, like if you parry the second they hit, you don't lose as much posture.
Yep.
But it's kind of hard to say.
Yeah, so I guess it wasn't something I tested much, but I don't remember it being a big factor. Right? If you are just slapping circle real quick just to do it, you don't really lose much of anything. And one of the things that you gain out of it is if like let's say one of them is they shoot the fireball at you, then you get to shoot fireballs back.
Yeah.
For like 3 uses or whatever. You get a limited thing. So you're rewarded with that on top of the parry. You get to steal an ability for a little bit, which is neat.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it seemed like a natural progression of doing weird shit with what they've started to establish for the Final Fantasy series, the mainline games. I found it interesting and fun to just go through things. It's definitely not Souls-like. It's way closer to Final Fantasy VII Remake than Souls.
Yeah, it does make the things they borrow from Souls games feel weird, like the bonfires, which are just called cubes. Which
that's just so good. And they refer to them as that in game. Like, hey, there's some cubes over here.
Yeah, like you just have them in universe say cubes, and it's like, the fuck is this?
Yeah, not explained. It's just here's some fucking cubes.
Right, but they feel like they want to be bonfires, but realistically, they feel more like checkpoints.
But they do the whole thing of enemies respawn, blah blah blah.
Yeah, or like there's a part in that first major level where you can drop down a ladder, and I'm like, oh, okay, so maybe there's like good incentive, like this is a nice shortcut to have. Yeah. But then I never used it. I never felt the need to use it. There's no point to really.
I saw that ladder and I said, I think I know what that is, and I went the other way.
Yeah,
never even bothered.
Exactly. And then because you can redo that mission. Like if you go after you beat it for the story, you can go back to it, and there's like an alternate mission, which is just like to farm XP, I assume. Mm-hmm. And I did that, and you have to go through the level backwards. And then the ladder wasn't there. Like they just put a rail instead of the ladder. So I'm like, there is no point. Like this is not Souls-like. This is just a level, right?
Yeah. So running through it is fun. So it's all the other stuff that I really want to talk about. I don't really want combat. I think people will enjoy it largely. There might be some little things. It seemed fun enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I was saying also it looked like I was playing Final Fantasy 14 in some places. Not to say that Final Fantasy 14 looks awful, but it's an MMO that's old at this point. Mm-hmm. And it has lower texture and less detail because it has to, because it's got such a big fucking world and so many things going on. So I get it. But this, it's like, holy shit. Sometimes it's just when it did that first cut where you're like walking up to the town, to the kingdom, and you see the grass. I'm like, boy, that's some fucking PS2 looking grass. Yeah. Like, it's just a flat texture with little bushes every once in a while that look like shit. Like, it's so bad. And then on top of that, it chugs. Like, there's frame dips, frame rate stuff going on.
Even in performance
garbage. Yeah. It's crazy how poor it runs. Mm-hmm. I didn't notice it in combat, but everywhere else.
I've noticed, it's in the cutscenes, right? Which is real weird.
It's definitely in the cutscenes.
You could have just rendered this, right?
Yes.
But I've noticed there's sometimes, especially like the close-ups, right? Like face close-ups, where the eyes look like late PS4, where they look like pretty good eyes. But then the rest of the face and everything else on the screen looks PS3.
Yeah, and it's so... And there's like a little bit on a ship where they're out on the water for very briefly. Like, they do this really condensed story, like, at the beginning, they do in text at these weird cutscenes, and that ship looked like shit. There's just no detail anywhere. Like, the texture works fine, mostly, on a lot of stuff, but there's just nothing going on. Everything's empty again. It's just like, here's our 3 characters sitting on this comically large ship with nobody else around them, and it's like, wow, this feels...
dead.
Like, there's nothing here.
It looks like the Final Fantasy X ship.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, there's a lot about it that doesn't quite look pretty. It doesn't look exactly like what you would expect a PS5 game to look like.
No, it's kind of crazy, especially when Square is pretty like obsessive about graphics to the point of we know they made an engine and then never used it for anything. They showed off a demo of it, which looked fucking crazy, and then it's like, all right, that's gone. Oh, okay. Like, they're very obsessive about it. And this is just like, man, you're going to slap the Final Fantasy name on this? Okay. Mm-hmm. Like, all right, you want that to be associated with this? Alrighty. Because that is one thing that, you could talk crap about a lot of Final Fantasy stuff, and Final Fantasy 15, there's a lot of it I didn't like, but it was very good at spectacle still. Extremely good at that, and it looked really cool. And here I'm like, boy, I don't know if it'll pull that off, but
I mean, I can imagine some cool moments in this game, because I mean that Garland boss fight. I mean, it's the same one from the first demo if you played it, right? Like, there are moments that happen in there where I'm like, okay, I could see this being like the foundation for some really cool shit in like later bosses, right?
Yeah.
I think what worries me though is that I feel like the pacing of the cutscenes are bad. They're really like, it's jarring. Like there are scenes where like you talk to the king, and then when you leave, it takes a few seconds to load, and then it loads in front of the inn, and it's just a short 30-second scene of the innkeeper saying, "Hey Jack, would you like to spend the night here?" And he's like, and he's like, "Thanks, please enjoy your stay." And then that scene ends, and then we pick up somewhere else, and it's like, did we have to watch this? This feels like a holdover from like, it was originally a JRPG where you go sleep at inns all the time, so we gotta have that in here. But it's like, do you really need that here?
Oh, that's right. There's a tutorial at the beginning that says that's about talking.
How to talk to people.
Yeah, it'll be like, hey, go up to people and press this, and that's how you talk to them.
Well, there's also a thing in the world menu thing when you're like picking missions where you can talk to people in towns, but then it just like, it loads up like a visual novel-esque little cutscene. I mean, all the conversations are little visual novel-esque cutscenes. It's weird.
Gosh. And if we want to talk about the dialogue, what dog shit. What fucking bad. It's one of the worst I've heard, but also the best. Like,
no,
it's so bad it's good.
I don't know about that.
Oh, come on.
Literally every other line for Jack mentions chaos.
Yes.
Like, I thought it was chaos. I thought it was a joke, like from the trailers, like they were just overplaying the chaos, but so far it's pretty on point.
Yeah, it's like they try to humanize Jack or whatever, like joke with him, like, come on, crack a smile, Jack. He's like, fuck off, I only want to kill chaos. And then walks off, and you're like, all right, Jack. Like, Jack's the main character you play.
Yeah, he plays Limp Bizkit.
I hope there's more moments of that where he's just like, I'm fucking done with you people, and he plays Limp Bizkit and walks off.
Yeah. Like, I thought it's another example of the pacing thing, right? Because he walks off, they play the music, and they fade the music up, so it's like playing over everything, and then it fades to black, and then 5 seconds later, he just takes his headphones out, and the music stops, and it's like,
then they're having a deep conversation about, here, I'm another warrior of light. Oh, okay. Like,
and they all become best friends.
They all become besties, and then they learn, oh yeah, you killed chaos, you thought. Not psych. We got another thing for you to do.
Yeah, I don't know. This game just feels all over the place. Like, I still can't get over how they're all wearing denim and flannel.
Oh man, getting gear was the best. Because I'm like,
really?
Yes, here's why it's the best. Because I was looking at it, and I'd see the model of it in the menu, and I'm like, the first time I got something, I was like, oh god, please show up on the character. Don't just be like an in-menu thing. Actually change the visualization of the character, and it did. And it's the most fucking Square Enix shit ever. Belts everywhere, dark leather,
zippers,
buckles, all of it, everywhere. And it's like, I didn't buy, like, you get so much gear also, it's absurd. Like, I just kept using that optimization button because I'm like, I'm not going to fucking click through every menu every time. So I optimize it, so you're running around and you're the goofiest looking motherfuckers. All three of you with these weird black bandanas and like zippers and buckles all over these long trench coats in some places, or you're just wearing a really tight suit. It's so fucking stupid.
The scene where Jack plays the music and walks away all badass like, he had on the Strider mask for me, so he just looked like Bane almost. So.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. You look so stupid. Oh
yeah, this
fantastic
game, it's something, not fantastic.
Yeah, Final Fantastic.
I think the moment I knew I was in for it, because I described this game as it's The Room with Tommy Wiseau vibes, and the moment that clicked for me is there's a scene near the beginning. So like you watch this badass scene of Garland killing knights, and then it cuts to
that opening like cinematic was pretty rad.
It was cool, yeah. And then they cut to this world that looks like Final Fantasy 13, where it's like future punky. And you fight like a Hydra, and then you beat the Hydra, and then it cuts to a beautiful sunset meadow,
Frank Sinatra.
grassy field, and it plays "I Did It My Way" by Frank fucking Sinatra. And I'm like, this is awful.
I remember seeing that in the trailer and being like, what the hell? I thought that was just trailer music, and then it showed up in that demo, and I was like, oh god, it's real.
The real game.
This
yeah,
is
it's
amazing.
the actual for real
We
fucking
got Frank
game.
Sinatra, Limp Bizkit, and then the other music was just fucking wild, like running around. I'm like, what is this game?
Yeah.
As you're running around the level, it's so tonally just all over the place.
I'm here for it though.
It's great.
Mm-hmm.
It's so stupid.
I don't know if it's going to take me away from Elden Ring full time, but like,
I don't know.
Man, it's
I want to just see with the stupidity that's with it, because it's so like it's so much of it, like, because we're talking about Nomura, felt very Kingdom Heartsy in terms of how stupid a lot of it is. The thing with Kingdom Hearts, obviously, it's got Disney and stuff going on with it, but it had a lot of heart to it. So it was always like, oh, but they're just best friends, it's friendship, blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's Goofy and Donald,
Yeah, and this is like, you don't have that. Like these other characters, I don't know anything about them still. They don't think I'm going to learn a lot about them. They just want to rip on Jack for being a dick.
Well, because they get amnesia or whatever, right? Like, don't they imply that they always forget stuff?
I don't remember. I don't know. But like, it's so like that tutorial thing when you're learning felt very beginning of Kingdom Heartsy to me. I don't know, when you're in that field. Because it's not explained. It's just you go there, and then there's a portal, and then you go in it, I guess, at the end of it, and then...
Oh, in that tutorial, they say, like, reclaim your memories of fighting or something like that. So
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think this is genuinely like they get amnesia sort of shit.
Well, isn't part of it, didn't they already say, like, isn't Jack, like, Garland from the future?
Maybe, I don't
Or Garland from the past that must kill Garland of the future? Because isn't he Garland? Isn't he Chaos? Isn't that the twist? Isn't Jack secretly Chaos this whole time? So he's trying to kill his future self or get himself killed or something, so he prevents chaos in the future. Something. There's something like that going on. There's some time travel bullshit.
I hope that's what it is.
Don't we know
this?
this?
Wild.
I feel like this came out. I feel like we knew this.
I haven't been following all the
I
trailers.
remember there
so
being
say.
discussion about that. Something about
I feel like
Garland.
I think he is Garland, and that he's got to kill himself or something.
Man,
I want to know how that reveal happens. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, like, I am very curious about this game, but I don't know if I'm curious enough to want to play through it all.
I feel like is there going to be like a dark moment where he like puts Linkin Park on or whatever, and he's all sad, walking away.
Yeah, or maybe he just like goes into Cannibal Corpse or something, just dives real deep into it,
Yeah.
like an edgy music.
Oh, I don't know. So like people like I don't know what to compare it to. Like if you like. It's not in like any other Final Fantasy game. I'll say that.
No, yeah. Not even like in terms of the tone
of stuff. Like it's definitely not. It's its own. I don't know what's even else that's like it, because it definitely feels like, and part of it feels like intentional. Like they have to know what they're doing, because it's some of the cringiest, stupid shit that a lot of people hate these kind of games for, and they're leaning into it hard.
Honestly, you know what this tone kind of reminds me of? Like mid to late aughts, early 10s, hardcore no-name military shooters from the PS3 and 360 era. Okay, like those ones that take themselves so seriously.
The Spec Ops of Final Fantasy, man.
Yeah, kind of.
There we go. There's gonna be some reveal where we're all gonna be like, they knew the whole time they were conning us.
Yeah. Like this has that vibe. It's so serious, like comically so, but they don't, like, in universe it's not funny, but when you look at it from outside it's kind of hilarious.
There's too much in it that they have to know. They have to know what they're leaning into. Jack as a character is just way too like fucking dialed up to a degree that they don't. There's no way they don't know what they're doing. Yeah, it's very intentional. So if you're into that, like, I guess ironically laughing at something that's just fucking stupid as hell, or it's super tropey and you want to laugh at how they make it just to the extreme, you'll probably like it. I think if it's worth trying the demo out. If you're like Nomura's stuff, give it a go. I mean, worst case you delete it, right? It's free. Yeah, give it a shot. Free. I will say though, I don't know if I'll like play it all.
Yeah, same.
It really depends on where it goes.
Mm-hmm. But that's the good thing about this demo too, is if you do end up liking it, right, and you pick it up, like your save carries over, so
progress.
It's not like you're wasting your time.
And I guess I didn't test. I don't know if the demo you can even do it on the demo, but apparently there's multiplayer, so you can play with someone going through levels.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
yeah, isn't it supposed to be like the people you play online with, they play as Jed or as Ash,
something like that?
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it said like there's different party members. Supposedly you'll run across other people over time. It seems like.
Yeah, I mean that lady at the end of the Garland fight,
she'll definitely. Yeah, but it just seemed like there's even more than that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems like a bigger
at some
cast.
point. So I don't know. It's.
Do you think Lightning will show up?
I fucking hope so. Like, no, I don't think so, because that was another thing I said. Like with the writing of it, felt like they gave it to a fanfic, but said you got to make original characters. Like they let some fans write it. I don't know.
Yeah, because like I guess Jack kind of looks like an edgy like military Cloud.
Yeah, he looks like what's that one dude from? Let me look it up. Let me look him up real quick.
I mean, he has Marcus Phoenix vibes too.
He looks exactly like. Let me find his name real fast.
He looks like the card organization member from Final Kingdom Hearts.
Yes, that's exactly
Luxord.
Is that his name? I'm trying to figure out his name.
I think it's Luxord. Yes. Yeah.
I think that's him.
Yeah, he looks like a
looks
buffer.
Exactly like the organization. Oh my god. What if this is like it's not Final Fantasy's just a red herring? What if he is
This is Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. What if this is all just like the origin story of Organization 13, or at least some of the members?
Dude, I will shit a brick if the final boss is like the Master of Masters or something.
Yeah, what if like you see a keyhole open up and Mickey fucking jumps through? What the fuck? Dude, and Sora's here, like, Dude,
I don't think Disney would let that happen.
Yeah, with that much other dumb shit's going on in this game. But
yeah,
that would be the best game of all time. If suddenly Mickey shows up with a Keyblade to help you.
So far, this is your game of the year.
And he's like, "Are you fucking?" And then Jack mistakes him for Chaos, so you fight Mickey.
And then you like crush his head, and he crystallizes red.
He fucking explodes.
Yeah, Disney would definitely not let that happen,
dude. And that's the big twist. That's what Kingdom Hearts 4 is all about. That you have to hunt down Jack.
Yeah,
revenge
Jack
Mickey.
Is chaos.
There we go. Square, hire me. I'm available. Can't be any worse than what the fuck is in this game already.
Don't hire him. Not recommended. It'll get too weird.
What? You've never read anything I've written.
It might be true. Who knows?
Yes and no.
You don't know.
You
don't know.
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah, he is. He's Luxord, dude.
Yeah, he's Luxord.
He looks like almost exactly. Oh my god.
Can I pivot to a totally wildly different?
What if he pulls out a pack of cards?
What if that's one of the classes?
Oh shit.
It's
like the gambler class.
Yeah. No, it seems like all the original Final Fantasy classes though, from the looks of it.
Yeah.
So I played some of that Kirby The Forgotten Lands demo.
Oh yeah.
And that is haunting in a different way.
What's it like being Kirby?
It kind of almost feels like a side-scrolling Mario Kart in a way. But the really terrifying thing about Kirby is, so every time you transform, it gives you like the name of the form in the top left of the screen. So like sword or beam or whatever, right? Car is called Car Mouth.
Yes.
What?
Kirby was right there up for the taking, and they said, "Fuck that."
Car Mouth. And it's 2 words. And when you eat a traffic cone,
worse.
No, it gets worse. When you eat a traffic cone, he becomes Cone Mouth.
Oh, okay. So there's a theme here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of the mouthful modes end with mouth.
I saw the trailer. There's like a
vending machine.
A vending machine. Are you vending machine mouth?
I didn't remember looking at it, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's it. Because
that's fantastic.
It is haunting. And like seeing Kirby move with like a whole ass traffic cone in his body. And like there's enough of his mouth hanging off where you see like the flat straight end of one of the pylons. as he like kind of waddles like a penguin. It's nightmare fuel.
Oh boy. Fantastic.
Is it?
Yeah.
Otherwise
Don't you want
the
games to get weird?
Yeah, I mean, it is weird for sure, and I imagine it'll get only weirder from here, right? But from the gameplay perspective, it feels a lot like Super Mario 3D World by way of Kirby.
That's kind of what it looked like.
Yeah, so it's like little levels. Well, they're kind of the one in the demo is pretty big actually, but it's like a fixed camera. You can like kind of move the camera a little bit, but you can't like rotate it around Kirby or anything. You run around, you eat stuff, you get powers, and you beat things up. Like it really is just Kirby translated to a 3D world, and that's not a bad thing. It's still pretty fun if you like that Kirby formula. Yeah.
I don't, but
it does feel simple, right? But I know in the trailer one of the things you can do is like mix the powers down the line, so I'm curious what that's going to be like.
What if you become car cone mouth? What would that do?
If this is anything, when you eat a normal power, you get a hat, right? Kirby gets the hat, right?
Oh, what if you become a fire car?
That's the thing, is if you already have a power and then you eat the car, a bigger version of the hat shows up on top of the car. So the first time I did it, I had Bomb Kirby, so he has like a birthday hat on. So I was driving around in the car with a big ass birthday hat on it.
Does it change anything about the car or just the look?
No, it's just cosmetic. Yeah,
that's still pretty great.
It's pretty good. It's very Fashion Souls kind of energy, right? But no, it's more Kirby.
I love the idea of Kirby running around this like dystopian world with rundown cars, and he's just like, I'm gonna eat that.
I will say I don't feel the dystopia much. I mean, I got to the level where you go through that mall, and I guess that kind of feels like a mall straight out of like, Last of Us or something in a way. Mm-hmm. But it's a Kirby game. Tonally, it doesn't feel like, it's happy and cutesy, right? Like there's a little bit of like a curiosity of like, oh, what's going on here, right? But it's not like people have died. It's the end of the world, Kirby.
How great would that be? Give the team that's making Stranger Paradise Kirby.
Kirby, I'm here to kill chaos.
That'd be great.
Just give him lines.
Meta Knight becomes some chaos infested fucking monstrosity.
Mm-hmm. Kirby eats Jack, and he gets the Luxord goatee and hair,
and he just grunts. Plays Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be like a knock out of the park sort of game. Is the energy I get, but it is. It's an old reliable. I think it's like what Nintendo is kind of known for. Even they're like not so groundbreaking games tend to have a lot of enjoyment to them.
And, sure, like Nintendo doesn't really put out a dud. The only one that has happened in recent memory is the Star Fox games. That's kind of it.
Yeah. I mean, kind of the tennis game, right? Wasn't that one kind of meh the golf game? I remember the golf game people weren't as excited about it.
Yeah.
Like Super Rush.
That's the thing with Kirby is it's so much more chill than any of their other franchises.
Yeah.
Like, because even if you're looking at like Mario running around, there's still like some skill jumps and stuff like that you got to do. Like, you got to interact with something in a certain way. Not to say that Kirby is skill less, but it's just certainly like, just run around and do some shit, man. Like, we don't care.
Yeah. Like, I played the demo on like the medium difficulty. And even that felt like really, really easy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it doesn't really, or no, I don't even think it's a medium. I think it's just like easy and hard.
Oh.
And I played it on the hard, and it was still really easy. But, I'd also get the sense that, like, a lot of kids might be playing this too, right?
Oh, sure.
So, yeah, like, just have a little bit more guardrails, a little more easy.
Yeah, I mean, if it's just you run around and engaging in wacky mechanics like Kirby and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Carmouth.
There's a good time to be had there.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be fun. I don't know if it's going to be the game I pick up on the 25th because there's so much coming out on that day, right?
Yeah,
Ghostwire comes out, and the Tiny Tina Wonderland comes out that day too.
That week's going to be so packed.
It is. I mean, it's going to be a good day though, I think, for everyone. Like, there's a little something for everyone on that day, right?
Yeah, that's quite a cross section of people. I mean, that's not a lot of overlap, I think. in terms of the core group of people that are interested.
Yeah, it's like when Doom Eternal came out the same day as Animal Crossing, or wasn't there
That's got a ton of overlap.
Yeah, and didn't the day Super Mario Odyssey came out, wasn't that also when like Wolfenstein, like the newest Wolfenstein came out? Maybe
the one that everybody hated, Youngblood or whatever.
No, the new Colossus or whatever.
Was that? I thought that was earlier than.
It was Wolfenstein, then Colossus, then Youngblood.
Yeah, I thought that Wolfenstein 2 came out before Odyssey. So Odyssey was October 2017.
Yeah, I mean I could be wrong. That was like 5 years ago now.
Could have been. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what came out last month.
Elden Ring.
Shit.
The game that I still want to talk about, but I won't.
Running the guides department of a site will melt your brain.
Elden Ring.
Yeah,
I thought that was Elden Ring. Yeah,
Elden Ring. But yeah, no, that's Kirby. I think, if you're looking forward to it, I think it's gonna like satisfy the itch. It seems like a very well made, competent Kirby game. So not much more you can ask for with that.
No, that's basically all there.
I think that does it for this week's episode of the TechRaptor podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. It's the first stretchless one. So
yeah, tell us if you want us to go forward without him. Let us know.
We'll put out a Twitter
poll. Game Pass exists, I guess. I'll say it.
Yep. Oh yeah,
we got to make sure we collect that paycheck. So check out Games Pass. There's plenty of stuff on it.
Allegedly.
Maybe. Hey, it might get Ghostwire Tokyo in a year from now. So hey,
Otten pays for his and doesn't fucking use it.
That's true. We were talking about it before we recorded. Although Guardians of the Galaxy is on it. If you haven't played it yet,
go play that.
It's good shit.
If you enjoyed the show, please feel free to leave us a review. That helps us out a lot, and wherever you're listening. And if you're listening on YouTube, give us a like and subscribe. That would help. Or leave us a comment down below. Let us know if you've been playing Final Fantasy Origin, and if so, did you drink every time Jack said chaos? And if so, are you dead now?
Yeah.
Let us know.
Write to us from the afterlife.
Yeah. Or if you want to leave a comment on our site at techraptor.net, we do have a new commenting system there that keeps it all together, and it's a really fun place to be. We also publish news, reviews, features throughout the week on that site, but if you want more of us, we'll be back next Monday. See you then.